A new photograph has dropped basically as soon as PMQs is over, as soon as he's managed to rush out what's supposed to be tomorrow's headlines. Here's yet another photograph of a party that I think we already know about, although it's hard to keep track. I mean, this is going to be relentless. I said in my opening that John Major survived the backbenchers only to drag his own government through a gruelling period of constant speculation, media attacks, waning public faith. I mean, is that basically history on repeat for Boris?
This is the thing. You know, we hear a lot about how Conservative MPs, backbench MPs, they can be incredibly ruthless, they'll wield the knife. They didn't in John Major's case. They're not doing it right now, and the public see that. And when the public see people not acting, they say to themselves, well, that means that there's nobody actually with the gravitas behind the scenes who is capable of being Prime Minister. So even if it does happen down the line, the options are not good. And as you say, it's what, two and a bit years until we get to the next general election. It is going to be that steady, slow bleed of confidence. What Boris hopes, obviously, is that he can sort of reverse it, sort of a slow coagulation, if you like, of actually sort of trying to very slowly regenerate and heal. History suggests that doesn't tend to happen. You know, it didn't really happen for Blair post-Iraq, or, you know, Theresa May was never able to win back a lot of the goodwill that she had at the start. So he's playing an incredibly dangerous game, but also the Tory party itself is playing an incredibly dangerous game. If it isn't decisive, if it just shows itself to be the Boris Johnson party, then it will go down with Boris Johnson if he's not able to win back the voters. And right now, I wouldn't put a lot of money on him winning back the voters.
I mean, the chronology of events is what's going to be key here, isn't it? Because we all know that sort of Damocles, the Met police report is hanging over Boris. And it seems very unlikely now that that report's going to come back and exonerate the Prime Minister. So it almost seems like a ticking time bomb. And so he's now got a very shortened period of time in which he's got to really win the hearts and minds of the public. So much so that his own party leaped to his defence when that report drops. And he's got to do this against the backdrop of a fuel crisis, a cost of living crisis. I mean, it's a mammoth task.
It is a mammoth task, and it's partly why I think it's too big a gamble to keep him in place. Let's say that it all goes very well. Okay, and he is exonerated. OK, fantastic. You've still got all of that in the background for which he will carry the can, as well as, you know, just the general ill feeling of, OK, even if he didn't break the law or break the rules, we're still not particularly happy with how he carried on. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is the Met comes back and says, oh, he might have actually broken the law. In which case, how can he carry on? It's not a question of waiting to see whether or not he's broken the rules. The party, I think, needs to just bite the bullet and go, we have a higher standard than just whether or not the Prime Minister has broken the law. That actually, you know, it is about the reputation of the party, it's about the reputation of British politics, and we need to act now.
But he does have the magic dust, that's the problem. Like you said, who's going to replace him?
Does he really have the magic dust right now? I mean, to have had such a staggering lead as he had, and let's remember, actually, before the pandemic and even during the pandemic, his ratings were sky high. To have frittered it away on such nonsense as, you know, putting in place these laws and then, you know, skirting around them. I mean, come on, that's not actually the behaviour of somebody who is particularly electorally savvy, politically savvy. He might have been, you know, like a great footballer. He might have been really good once. That doesn't mean he's going to stay that way forever.